First of all, good afternoon to everybody, and my sincere thanks to Reginans and Negi sir for this opportunity. So as sir was mentioning that all of you are right now listening to the pipeline, basically the technical thing, gas pipelines or hydrogen pipelines. So next thing is that the commercial, how to commercialize those pipelines, how to get the return from those pipelines, because once the pipeline, the project is over, now everybody is eyeing, the investor is eyeing for the monetization of the pipeline. So I will just, I'm just trying to link the things that you have already learning for last, since yesterday, and now this is the concluding day. So I will try to let you know how the gas exchange is working, because this is a new concept most of you may not be aware of. So today we will be starting with an overview of gas exchange. Then we'll see the international practices, how things are going on in, gas pipelines in Europe, and key enablers for Indian gas market. And I will try my best to keep my presentation around the capacity booking type of thing, so that, because we are talking of pipelines, so I will not go into the commodity part. So just to start with IGX, we started our journey in June 2020, and it was, IGX was launched by the then MOPNG, Minister of MOPNG, that is by Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. And in December 2020, we got the approval or authorization from the PNGRB, the regulator of natural gas pipeline. And coming to the strategic partners, it is promoted by IGX, and then other big stakeholder having 26% stake in IGX is NSC, and other companies who have 5% stake. These are GAIL, IOCL, ONGC, Adani Gas, and Torrent Gas. So when you are talking of exchange, like in stock exchange, what we do, we generally trade shares. So obviously in gas exchange, this is same thing, that is gas is being traded by the sellers and buyers. And one most important thing that is to be noted is that this is a delivery based gas exchange. Here actually gas delivery takes place, and the seller sells the gas and delivers the gas, and the buyer offtakes gas. And when I am talking of the delivery and offtake, definitely the buyer, because gas will be transported through the pipeline. So any point, any delivery point where the seller can physically deliver the gas, that is the delivery point. That in our words, that is the hub basically. We have identified 6 regional hubs, basically state-wise, eastern, western, central, and northern and southern hubs. And apart from that, we have multiple delivery points. Delivery points, when I am saying, like PLL Dahej is a delivery point, or Gadimuga Reliance Gadimuga is a delivery point, or ONGC Bokaro, anywhere the gas is being injected by the seller. That can be the domestic terminal, the terminal either operated by ONGC or Reliance or Vedanta, and the RLNG terminals also are the delivery points, like being operated by PLL Dahej or Shell, etc. Apart from that, we have other types of delivery points, that is the interconnection points. The interconnection points of GAIL or PIL or GAIL or GSPL or PIL or GSPL, these are the points where the seller, basically what happens, these are basically the traders, they purchase gas from the, either from the terminal operator, RLNG terminal operator, or from the domestic gas producer, and bring the gas, transport the gas up to the interconnection point. For example, like I'll take an example, the Muskal delivery point in Maharashtra. What happens? All traders, they purchase gas from Reliance in Gadimuga or from ONGC in KG Basin, and transport the gas to this Muskal delivery point, and buyer then has its own transportation arrangement from these delivery points. Coming to the contracts, we have different types of contracts: intraday, day ahead, daily, weekly, weekday, fortnightly, and monthly. These are basically the delivery days. Basically intraday means today I am trading, and today only I am getting the gas delivery. And one good thing just I would like to share, that yesterday only we executed the first ever intraday contract of India in which the seller and buyer, they came to the exchange. The trade is executed yesterday only, and the transportation or offtake of the gas was also yesterday. So this is a new development, because internationally what is happening, hourly basis transportation is there. Suppose I want gas today, now suppose around 6 o'clock I want the gas delivery. So what happens, I trade the gas on gas exchange like in Europe, and after 2-3 hours I get the gas delivery also. So we are moving in that direction definitely. We have done the first ever intraday contract yesterday. Facilities trade for RLNG, definitely the regasified LNG, the RLNG terminals. If you see, yeah. So these are basically like Dahej or Hazira. These are the RLNG Davol RLNG delivery points. Then Suwali and this Mallavaram Gadimuga KG Basin. Dhamra is the RLNG, but this Mallavaram Gadimuga KG Basin, Suwali, these are the domestic. Even Sadol is the domestic delivery points. Just I'll take, I mean, you can focus on this slide. This is one of the important slides just to understand how the trade is happening and how the delivery is being, executed in gas exchange. Because whenever people say there are two types of transaction going on in gas exchange, that is ex-sub and delivered. So ex-sub, as per definition, you understand, the seller is basically selling the gas at delivery point and transferring the custody at the delivery point, and the buyer himself transporting the gas from the delivery point to its plant, whichever is the delivery point. So in ex-sub, what is happening? The pipeline capacity is booked by buyer. In case of delivered transaction, like Negiswar was referring, so in that case, exchange facilitates the delivery on behalf of the buyer. So it is a delivered transaction, but it is not exactly the bundle transaction what in the bilateral transaction. In bilateral transaction, what happens in case of bundle transaction, the seller himself takes the gas, transport the gas in its own facility, in its own arrangements, and then directly deliver to the buyer at its plant. But in case of gas exchange, what happens in the delivery point? Suppose I am talking of the delivered transaction. So what happens? There are different type of stakeholders like terminal operator, basically the infrastructure owner at the RLNG terminal or domestic terminal, transporter, the connected transporter, the pipeline operator is there. Then seller and buyer. So what happens? Seller and buyer comes to the gas exchange. They execute the sale and purchase transaction. The one trade is executed, and the seller and buyer is identified. Date of delivery is identified, and the quantity of delivery is also mentioned there. How much quantity is will be delivered by the seller. There are obligations, liabilities. I will not go into the details in case there is some default by any party. So in such case, what happens in case of delivered transaction? This buyer, whoever wishes to have delivered transaction on gas exchange, they must have some arrangement with gas exchange in terms of transportation. They have to give a gas transportation undertaking that whatever cost is required for the transportation of gas, it includes the transportation tariff, imbalance charges or overrun charges or any overdrail charges, any charges that is being asked by the transporter, that will be paid by the buyer to the gas exchange. And in turn, gas exchange has its own arrangement, umbrella arrangement with the pipeline operators. Like we have arrangement with GAIL, PIL and GSPL. We have separate arrangements. So different models are there. I will not go into the details because it will take more time. So in short, what happens in case the buyer has signed all these documents, it has given the authority to gas exchange that on behalf of me, gas exchange will transport the gas from this delivery point. So what happens once the trade is executed, delivery starts, seller supplies gas. So who is the basically terminal operator will be supplying gas on behalf of the seller. Like in PLL there are different terminal users like GAIL, GSPC or Torrent Power or even IOCL, BPCL, etc. So what they will do, they will ask the terminal operator that on behalf of me, you please deliver this gas to this buyer on this date, the delivery date. And what buyer will do in case of accept transaction, buyer will talk to the transporter, sign the GTA, and the transporter will offtake on behalf of buyer. And in case of delivered transaction, same thing will happen. Only in between buyer and transporter, exchange will come, because exchange will coordinate the things between buyer and transporter. So what happens in case of whether it is accept or delivered, the title transfer from seller to buyer happens at the delivery point. So generally what generally there is some misunderstanding that buyer gets the gas at redelivery point. So all risk and everything is owned by gas exchange. That is not true. Buyer is the title holder from the starting point. IGX will be just facilitating the transportation. And definitely, as I was saying, like in intraday contracts, nobody in India has ever executed intraday contracts on normal basis. So IGX coordinate with the gas transporters, and two of the transporters, they have agreed to give the intraday contracts. So accordingly, we have started giving the intraday contract for those pipelines, and for other pipeline we are already in negotiating with them. So once they also allow the intraday contract, then we will be doing the intraday contracts, seller purchase contract for this pipeline also. Typical trade flow, just I will quickly go through that. Bidding is there. Bidding means whether it is a seller or buyer, they will place their bid. Matching, the price will be matched, because if I am a buyer, if I am placing, because this in gas exchange there is no dollar denominated price, it is basically the INR. So in case the buyer says I want to purchase gas at 100 rupees per MMBTU, so matching will be done with a condition that whatever price, whether it is the price must be 1000 or lesser than that, and in case of seller the condition will be there, whatever the sell bid or sell price is there, the price, the discovered price will be more than that. So definitely the buyer and seller will be happy. And in case of gas exchange, unlike the stock exchange, except daily and day ahead contracts, this is auction. Single price is discovered for all buyer and seller. So like in between the session is session starts from 10 o'clock and it ends at 2 p.m. So in between that, seller and buyers they submit the bid, and finally IGX match the price and inform the buyer and seller the counterparties. Then pipeline availability is there or not, that the buyer will check. Then confirmation from the pipeline operator, final scheduling and broadcast. It means the final delivery happens. These things already we have discussed, like what IGX is offering in NG, that is daily offtake, intraday. Weekly contracts is basically 1st to 7th and then 8 to 14, that way 7 days, and last week is the remaining days of the month. Weekdays is basically Monday to Friday. This is basically done for the CGD companies, because generally in Saturday or Sunday the demand is less. So they use this weekday contract. Fortnight contract is 1st to 15 and 16 to end date of the month, and monthly contract is definitely the calendar months. Then these are the non-daily offtake requirements. For power plants, we have some specially designed contracts, because what happens in case of power plants, they cannot commit some DCQ, daily contract quantity, because they generally operate as and when there is some requirement from the NLDC. That is, if there is some power requirement, they will start the gas base as a peaking power plant. So for them it is weekly, fortnightly and monthly, but the contract specification is different little bit. In case of DCQ, generally it is monitored to the total contract quantity for a month. Suppose it is a monthly contract, then they have to take this much of quantity in a month. Otherwise there are obligations, liabilities provision. Flexible contract, in case of gas exchange, there are as I was saying, like is it the DCQ is there. In case of flexible contract, the DCQ can vary, and basically the clearing and settlement, it happens on fortnight basis. Just one unique thing, USP of gas exchange I would like to highlight: in bilateral transaction, what happens that the invoicing as well as basically the seller gets the payment on each fortnight basis. But in case of gas exchange, the seller gets the payment on each day basis after 2 days after the delivery. Suppose the seller is delivering the gas on 5th of January, it has delivered the gas in 5th January, then on 7th seller will get the payment through gas exchange. So this is the good thing for sellers, because what happens, the gas exchange, they get the money from the buyers in advance and gives to the seller on each D+2 basis. Apart from the natural gas segment, we have SSLNG segment, that is for daily, fortnightly and monthly contract. Recently, we have executed big orders last month only. The SSLNG is basically the wherever there is no pipelines. So what happens? They want how will they take the gas? They will basically take the gas in the LNG form. So there are specialized cryogenic trucks. I'm sure you must be aware of. So there are some specialized arrangements. So the buyer can offtake the LNG through trucks. These are, we are calling it SSLNG, small scale LNG. Trade highlights, we have executed total 3.5 BCM and total ceiling price gas trade is 1.5 BCM. Ceiling price gas is basically the HPHT gas that is, it has ceiling price. The price is, cannot go beyond some ceiling as approved by Indian government. So basically, if you see the gas being produced from the Odra Lebu by ONGC or Gadimoga in Reliance field, these are basically HPHT gas, and there the price cap is there. And if the spot price even is higher, still because ceiling is there, so the gas price that applicable on the buyer is at the lower side. So there is so much of demand for the ceiling price gas. Trade volume 1 BCM this financial year till date. Total number of trades 1000 plus. This is a big thing because what is happening? This is basically, you can say, the GSPA, gas sale and purchase agreement. So previously what is happening, the buyer and seller, they were negotiating bilaterally that how much gas is needed, and they were signing physically the agreement copies. Here in gas exchange, no need of signing any any copies, any agreements, nothing. You have to just by click, you have to enter your requirement. Definitely the monetary terms, the commercial terms, there it is there that on behalf of the buyer, the member of the buyer, they must have adequate margin available in cash or non-cash form. So then they can place their bids and then trade is executed. So 1000 plus means you can say ki so much of agreements have been, there is no signing, no execution, but gas is being delivered smoothly. Total trade volume more than 1 BCM. Total number is this financial 24. Total participants, name any participant in India, whether it's a buyer or seller, they are already registered with gas exchange, either in the form of member or the client. Basically, client is basically, when I'm saying member, I will just correlate with the stock exchange, what is happening in that exchange. The member is basically the Share Khan or the the SBI securities or HDFC securities. So here there are members. Even the big players, they are also members. I will show you in the other slide. And then buyers or clients are basically registered with the member. So clients will be dealing with the gas exchange through their member. Total member and clients is 45 plus and 200 plus clients. This is just to give you the idea how much we are trading on over the last 1 or 2 years, starting from November 23. So this blue line is basically the gas being traded, 6.7 MMSCMD, then 3.1. So these are the numbers that we are getting, and this red line is the price, basically how much price is being discovered in gas exchange, and it is quite competitive. Next slide I'll just show you. This red is basically the gas exchange, the spot price discovered in IGX, and then long-term LNG. This is the green one. Definitely nobody can compete with those long-term LNG because these have been signed much before, having very good commercial things. Next is the HH. HH is, this is the this dark green is Henry Hub. Basically this HH is not exactly the HH in US. This is basically Henry Hub being produced in USA. Then in addition to that, whatever the liquefaction cost, transportation cost from US production to US liquefaction plants, and then transportation through vessel till Indian RLNG terminals. So this is the price, and this blue one is the spot LNG. That is the spot LNG means if suppose any big player in any big party like suppose BPCL wants to get some LNG from international market, then what is the price they are getting? So if you see, the GIXI is almost competitive in most of the months. This is because this is the USP of gas exchange, because competition is there. Previously what is happening, people are not aware, they have to negotiate with the people, that they have to call by 4 or something like that, I want to purchase gas, this is the price, and they will discuss, and over 3-4 days the gas price will rise, something like that. But here, the day you want to purchase, you just put your bid. The different sellers, there are number of sellers that I was showing, there are 45 sellers are active on gas exchange. So they will put their bids. If there is any desperate seller, definitely they will give you the better price, and the price is, I mean, you get a competitive price. And reverse is also true. If the buyer is desperate, there are number of sellers, then the price may be high. But over the, if you see the trend, definitely GIXI is always competing in a good way with the spot LNG. Yeah. Now coming to the theme of the this program, we'll discuss. Yeah. 1 minute. Okay. I'll take 2 minutes, sir, if you permit. Yeah. So in European market, these are the entities. Basically, I will not go into details. Like they have wholesale retail regulator. Like we have PNGRB, TSOs are there, and then intercountry regulator, which is not required in our case, because there are in EU. Basically, there are so many countries. And SIPR, you know, whoever is the transporting the gas suppliers are there, market operator. These are the directives. I'll just go through, because these are the things, like if I talk briefly, we are something around 10 to 15 years behind you, because if you see the third directive that came in 2009, and it is talking about the establish the common rules for gas transmission, supply and storage, and ISO. And at present we are discussing all those things, how to implement that. So already the regulator, Honorable PNGRB, they have already started working on this. One session has been, 2 sessions have been already conducted. So most likely we will see very soon some changes in the this field. Like the standard GTA standard, I mean the new open access code that we are talking of, so that the SIPR will get the CT, the capacity booking in a quicker manner, those things. Capacity booking process in EU, I will just skip because of the time constraint. Just I will brief that they have ascending clockwise auction, in which the capacity is being auctioned in European market. Gas balancing in, I will just highlight in, because we are talking of capacity. Whenever the customer is or the buyer is transporting the gas, there is always an imbalance. So what happens in India, they have to arrange for another gas. If it is a negative imbalance, they have to arrange extra gas at the delivery point and supply it to the transporter. And when in this environment of gas exchange, when you are buying gas for a short term, 1 day, 2 day or 1 week, then the seller may not agree that if there is some negative imbalance or positive imbalance, how to cure those things. So in that case, the solution is that the cash, basically the imbalance cash in, cash out. That is basically the transporter, what they will do on daily basis. If there is some negative imbalance, what they will do, they will purchase gas from outside, from gas exchange, and cure the pipeline, and whatever the cost, they will transfer it to the SIPR. And if it is the positive imbalance, then they will extra gas, whatever, they will net it off, and then they will sell it in the gas exchange, and then they will distribute the money among the SIPRs. So this is the concept that may be very helpful, that will be very helpful for Indian market. Key enablers of for Indian gas industry, one is the TSO, that is the transmission system operator, where there will be a standard GTA standard operating code will be there. So as I was saying, this is I mean PNGRB is already working on this. Pricing freedom, Krit Parekh committee has already submitted the report. So all, whether it is APM gas or HPHT gas, so pricing freedom must be there for the producers. Then what will happen, they will then explore the difficult fields, or else what will happen, there is some gas in India, but nobody is going to explore and monetize those fields, because they will not have the capacity. So what will happen, they will then explore the difficult fields, or else what will happen, there is some gas in India, but nobody is going to explore and monetize those fields, because they will not have the capacity. So in that case, the solution is that the there is no pricing freedom. So any operator will say, wherever I get easy gas, I will extract those gas, otherwise I will leave it there, because otherwise government will fix some price and then that price will be applicable on those fields, then it is very difficult to expand those fields also. GST is definitely, you are aware, this is a cost burden on the gas, even the petroleum sector. So that GST must come very soon instead of VAT, because VAT is the basically cost is increasing. There is no set of mechanism in VAT regime. Other enablers, interruptible capacity in US or Europe, there is interruptible capacity is there. There is no fixed C per pay. So what happens if I am a power plant, if I want gas for 2-3 days, I book the capacity. If whatever capacity I use, I need to pay that. In case I am not using any capacity, there is no binding C per pay, like in India it is 90% or 100%, it varies from pipeline operator to pipeline operator. So interruptible capacity must be there, and then capacity booking round the year. So what is happening right now is we are talking to few power plants, they said ki we want gas on Monday. Now what happens, can you operate the gas section on Sunday? We said okay, we will operate the gas section on Sunday. Then the next question comes, suppose the seller and buyer, they did the trade is matched, but the transporter is off already. They will not be able to book the CT. So these are the things, because it is a process related thing, so then there must not be any holidays for capacity booking. Intraday capacity booking, already we have started yesterday. I am sure slowly we will be seeing many such trades, which will be very beneficial for the power plants as well as CGD, even the industry players. Capacity trading, another thing, there are so many players in India who have already booked the capacity, transportation capacity for 10 years or 5 years or 20 years, and they are not able to use those capacity. Suppose somebody has booked the capacity from Dahej to its plant, but it is getting better gas price from Gadimoga or Hazira. Then what is happening? It is already paying the super pay in the first capacity, the city, but in other city it is paying the actual transportation tariff. So there must be some mechanism for capacity trading. Again, PNGRB has in 2020 there were some guidelines for capacity trading. So there need to be some work on this capacity trading also. Implementation of imbalance services like netting and trading, in one pipeline you are positive, in other pipeline you are negative. So you are paying both capacity charges to the pipelines, otherwise it is a closed system. So internationally what is happening, it is netting. Suppose in one pipeline I have positive, in other pipeline, even in one pipeline I have 3 city, then also one city if I have positive imbalance, other negative, I have to pay both the charges, otherwise it must be netted. So those things must be implemented. Already again here also PNGRB has issued the guidelines, but because of the some tax constraints, the transporters have not implemented yet. So these things must happen. Then definitely what we are talking of the gas from 6 to 15%, it will be quicker thing. Future things like entry exit, I will not go into the details because it is a big thing to discuss, and cash in out imbalance already we have discussed. IGX value proposition, I will just transparency for price discovery, because it is a transparent, rules are there. Flexibility of gas sale, you need not to, suppose there are daily gas trades. Suppose Saturday, Sunday you don't need gas, or even you are a power plant, you don't, intraday basis you want gas, so this is the flexibility of gas sale. Payment security, cost saving and competitive price, these are the USP. IGX, we are coming out with new products like LDC, long duration contract, it is pending with PNGRB. They are reviewing our proposal. Once they approve it, then we will be able to introduce this long duration contract. And other things that government is also working proactively, that is the CBG and green certificates, and we are working with government also for implementation of trading of these products. These are quickly just the IGX members, these are the proprietary members, all gas buyers and sellers will find. Trading and clearing member, like as I was saying, like HDFC Securities or Sher Khan, all those people, like small clients, they can come to them. Like these are the clients, they can trade through these trading and clearing members. These are basically our award and recognition, and I will conclude. Thank you.